Hey everybody, it's your Sam with another video. Today I am going to be reading a short story that I created off of the character randomizer that we did on the 21st. And the link for that character randomizer live stream, if you haven't watched it yet, is going to be down below, along with Mama Maggie Ward's channel, Annual's channel, and Mr. Vlandus's channel, so that y'all can check them out. There is also a link to the playlist of the character randomizer, the stories that we have created, and all that good stuff. Now, you still have time to write your stories if you followed along with the character randomizer and upload a video. And I will add those to the playlist so that we can all enjoy your story as well. So, without further ado, here is my short story. And I do apologize for the shortness of it, and I do apologize for the lack of editing, because, yeah, I think I've passed over this twice, so bear with me. Here we go. An age ago, a young fire golem promised the dragon clan leaders to protect their eggs, raise the young, and protect them until adulthood. Dragons were weakened by the loss of magic and by the threats of others. The clans of water and wind eggs hardly proved to have thick shells. Most were frail, thin shells that cracked at the slightest mishandling, as female dragons rarely had time to harden the shells before laying them due to being hunted so violently. Those of the earth dragons proved the opposite. Their eggshells so thick the babies often suffocated within. Only those of fire and spirit clans remained the same, as most other species feared them as if they were demonic soul suckers. Granted, some were. There were always a few bad apples in a tree. But those dragon clans, fire and spirit, took it upon themselves to try to protect the other clans from being hunted and to find a solution to the weakening magics. Gni Sijus, now a seasoned fire golem, woke to the sound of a trumpet whispering up to them in the wind from the village of Resnik. They stayed crouched on the crumbling sulfuric mountainside, its favored spot to sleep, as the dew cooled the fire within and eased the obsidian and diamond scars' aches. Resnik people thought it wise to pry some diamonds from Jenny's flesh a long time ago. Many were left as orphans and widows that day, the attackers never to return home, not even in pieces. Since then, Jenny received only traders, merchants, and adventurers interested in dragons and their eggs. Few beings in the world understood dragon speech. Jenny, a wealth of knowledge and languages, was hired by the dragon leaders for a specific duty to protect dragons and their kind. Creatures of magic hardly survive in this age, but Jenny is determined to uphold a promise given long ago. "A circus has arrived," Jenny grunted, casting a glance over a wide shoulder marred with long slashing scars of obsidian and gleaming diamond-like iron. Some dragons tore things as they wept upon leaving their young. The fire golem didn't mind comforting them with their flesh. "A circus." Jenny tried the words on his flaming tongue, looking over the young water dragon juvenile peeking from the cave at their back. The blue scales reflected the sun's light like ice shards shimmering in near melt. The young dragon, Vishen, knew 3 languages and was learning his 4th under Jenny's tutelage. Learning the language of every enemy would help the youngling survive. Jenny spoke the word for circus in the 4 languages, watching young Vishen's snow-white eyes brighten with learning. Jenny stood, stretching blazing arms up to the bright sky, greeting the day before running thick metallic fingers through fire-red hair, the dew on their thick ropey locks steaming under their hands. Striding back into the cave, the golem gave Vishen's lateral fringes a ruffle, making the young dragon purr and lean into the fiery hands of his master. Vishen was a survivor of theft. Every few years, some brave souls managed to enter the caverns and take eggs. Gni could count on one hand the number of eggs that survived the last theft. After that one, the fire golem closed all entrances to the caverns except 3. It made the air stifling, but the dragons didn't mind that. Just the visitors. Not that they mattered much. Passing through the caverns for the water dragons, checking on the eggs to make sure they were nestled in the heated, shallow pools safely for the thousandth time, then to check in on the classrooms. The rooms flared off the long, winding hall carved out by Gni's lava centuries ago. Each class for the birth was taught by a juvenile or young adult, while Gni took on the teachings and training of the older ones. Sometimes the best way to learn was to teach. They entered the main cavern, open for visitors, few as they may be. The cavern floor here was glossier, swept clean daily. Dark, thick pillars of rough volcanic rock supported the lofty ceiling. Flames flickered in alcoves in the pillars, giving the deeper portion of the room light while the mouth stood open to the morning sun. Gni gave a nod to the 3 guards, old friends, ageless in their shining scales of fire orange, earth green of spring leaves, and the deep blue of untouched oceans. Vishen was still on the fiery hills, claws clicking on the sapphiric rock at their feet. He asked about circuses, not giving Gni time to answer between the bombardment of curiosity. Gni felt the arrival of a magical being, not a dragon, moments before another adolescent dragon nearly crash-landed into them. "Can I keep her?" These were the only words Gni focused on as the dragon placed the thing in his long claws before Gni. Gni felt the flames flare within and tried to calm them down, thinking of the cooling dew of the morning, thinking of the delicate babies in the caverns all around and below. The flames stayed steady instead of erupting with the rage Gni barely controlled. No, dear LaFleur. Gni stared at the 4-legged creature his young charge brought to the mountain. She had fainted, so small, with a black mane and tail that were unlike her kind. Both the coloring and the short legs threw the ageless, sharp mind into a whirl of possibilities on her species and curses she could carry. The fact that she had a curse, or 2, nearly sent the rage spiraling into the flames they were made of. Gni took a few deep breaths, the flames swirling and flaring, heating the room a few extra degrees. The little adolescents backed away slowly at first. Only Vishen stopped mid-step to move back towards the golem. That little ice-blue head pressed against Gni's knuckles. The rage died as quickly as it rose under the careful, soothing bumps of the youngling's head. What to do? Gni's voice felt like gravel in their throat. I could probably toss her back into the village from here. As a unicorn, hybrid thing, she should survive easily enough. The dragons in Gni's care rose swiftly in his mind, swiping through them, searching for one that might be savvy enough to carry the unicorn back to the village and get away cleanly. Something like a unicorn missing would have the village in an uproar. They would have to be careful. Grinding teeth sounded like boulders rolling together to the young dragons. Both were at Gni's sides now, comforting in their young, timid ways. The golem used his fire to pull a long string of multicolored pearls from a chest near the back of the cavern, from the compilation of trade goods. and twined them about Lafleur's neck and horns. "There, little one, is this compensation for the one you brought here?" Lafleur's bright golden eyes widened while 30 deadly claws click-clacked over the stone floor as he danced about with the string of pearls swinging. Yes, thank you, Master Genie." Genie sent the dragons away with a flick of thick fingers. Crouching again to poke at the little unicorn with a pinky, the golem contemplated their options. No unicorn could survive long with the sulfur and heat here, from what Genie knew of their anatomy tolerances. As gently as the golem could, they lifted the little unicorn to carry her close to the opening most visitors called a long window, so she could get some fresh air from the light breeze that always blew around the mountain, until it turned into a storm or rain. Then the breeze became a wind Genie and the other trainers used to teach the young dragons to fly. At the window, the golem felt them coming, a small troop of mixed races. Such an odd band. Genie wondered if they were coming to save the little cursed unicorn, or to trade. Perhaps both. Definitely from the circus. Perhaps one or two from the village. The disturbance of his peace began to swirl into a spark of rage. Not that most would think his life peaceful with all the chattering, giggling, and roars of the few hundred dragons under his care. The teachings of the elder dragons swooped through its mind to control the flames of anger quickly enough. Genie was learning. Finally, after all these hundreds of years, at last, the rage burning within was under control. To an extent. "I suppose you have friends. Some are coming. A mere handful. My little dragons mean you no harm. Neither do I, unless you try to harm them." Genie glanced at the rippling rivulets of shining scars along their hands, arms, and shoulders. "You may try to harm me, but I wish you luck." Lips of stone peeled back to reveal squared granite teeth. "Only dragons have managed to mar me all these years." Meeting the friends of the little cursed thing outside, Genie listened. Rage flared, roiling in the lava pit of his stomach before erupting. Their words, the audacity of them assuming a golem had stolen something cursed, boiled over, and the silver tongue spat lava at the party. The rage boiled more, but Genie's mind worked over the words. The anger turned towards the village once more. Again, Genie listened, for listening was the best way to learn of an enemy or traitor. This Ginks and Thaddeus were harmless enough. The one they called Un, the little cursed one, had an egg, a fire egg. Genie quickly tempered the anger towards such a small thing. A curse. It's a curse, not the small one. They will pay for it. They will take the best care of it. I smell the death of the elder upon them. It was not distressed. It was loved. So shall be this small one, once it hatches. Or else they shall become a new hatchery, their bones burning in my lava before it settles. Genie let the threat hang, coal-burning eyes resting upon the one they called Ginks. The bellows of their lungs made the flames within roar to life as they took deep, calming breaths. Ginks quickly agreed. The scent of fear was strong over the sulfur of the mountain, letting out a low rumble of orders that echoed and tumbled through the rocks into the mountain. Genie let his dragons know to lock down. He gave orders to a few, mostly adults, the guards, and a few of the adolescents they thought well enough to travel with him, that they were going to the village to right a wrong. Turning back to the little troop, "You may trade later. Today is not a good day, other than the one. Pay the water dragon, youngling, Vitchin. Gni motioned to the little dragon still at their heels, even though they had dismissed him. "Go back inside, Vichin." The little dragon was far too young to see what Gni and the others were about to bring upon this tavern. Gni's rage fed upon the guilt for not checking the village closer. Gni cursed their size. The village knew when they was coming as soon as their large stone feet stepped down the mountain. Those stone legs were thick and long. The land between the mountain and tavern was ate up quickly. Lava spewed from Gni's mouth, the rage making it boil over still. Gni was careful not to burn the innocent, other than a few trees and grasses. Those coal eyes landed upon the tavern. Something Jack. Gni was a towering thing, eyes reaching the roof of the establishment easily. Rage was checked by the sense of innocence in the rooms above, and some working the middle part. "You have seconds, little one, who have nothing to do with my eggs. If any of you responsible for cooking, eating, and stealing my eggs tried to escape, know you are to blame for innocents being harmed." Gni peeled back the roof, wood cracking, groaning, and splintering under rock paws. As the innocents escaped, their large hands scooped up the ones that smelled of dragon eggs like plucking berries from a thorn bush. The tavern splintered under the stone, smoldering before bursting into flame from the very heat Gni radiated. Using the little corrupt humans in their hands as if they were extra fingers, or not there at all, Gni peeled back the tavern layer by layer until the lower floors were open to them. They let the lava spill forth. Wood flamed, melted into the flames and liquid fire as if it never existed in the first place. Screams echoed from the tavern to the mountain and all around the village. "Never again shall you evil, pathetic monsters taste my charges. You shall never again destroy innocence." Gni promised them this, speaking to those still barely alive in their grasp before dropping them into the lava lake that was once the tavern's basement, as if they were salt and pepper. The fire golem walked carefully among the rest of the village, picking those that smelled of eggs, scrambled, fried, some with butter. Imagine the beauty of their scales should they have not filled your rotten bellies. Imagine the sights they would have seen with their glistening eyes, the stories they would have told the others, told to you, the young, if they had lived. Picking 5 at a time here, 7 there, Gni deposited them in the new lake of fire as if adding herbs and spices to a soup. "Innocents run. I mean no harm to you. I never shall. Stay true, stay curious, never stray from being good." The rage roiled. Some houses smoked near Gni's flesh as they passed. They motioned to the water dragons above, guards who knew Gni and their rages well. At the signal, the water dragons cooled the smoking wood, shrubs, and grasses in the wake of Gni the Fire Golem with shards of ice and spouts of water from their narrow mouths. By the former tavern, an adult earth dragon with scales like green feathers kept the lake within the bounds of the old basement, pushing up a small earthen boundary and quietening the spew and splatter of lava that escaped with the plops of added spices. Another passed through the village, and Gni grew satisfied they had captured the evil within. It did not matter what race or creed those that ate the dragon eggs were. Anyone that would eat the eggs of such an intelligent creature was not worth living. Ginny crouched by the lake they made, listening to the pops and fizzles of the baking bodies. Another smiled, showed off the squared teeth, and Ginny sucked the lava back into their belly. With a smack of rock lips, Ginny tasted the evil they swallowed. Satisfied, that evil would not spread, Ginny stood again. Coal eyes darkened as the rage quietened, and looked at the little troop. New traders, offering homes and adventures for some of the dragons Ginny loved. Very well. With a nod, Ginny began negotiations, even though before they had not felt much like trading. Ignoring the scared villagers still screaming, crying, or yelling at them, for they would calm down, or they would be eaten too. Well, I hope you like that. Again, the playlist for the stories and the character randomizer live stream is going to be down below in the description. So feel free to watch the character randomizer, make your own character, and post up a story, and I will add it to the playlist. Let me know what you think of Ginny. And yeah. I hope that we might do this again. This might be like a little bi-monthly thing, maybe. So if you're interested in joining the next time that we do the character randomizer, leave a comment down below and I'll add you to the list. Thank you for listening to this little short story. I had a lot of fun writing it and making the character in the character randomizer live stream. As always, be kind to one another out there. Be kind to yourself. Keep writing, keep being creative, and I will see you next time.